In Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, lived Felipe Betances Ponce, a black man originally from the Dominican Republic. He was married to Maria del Carmen Alarcón, a native of Cabo Rojo with French ancestry on her family side. Because of their African heritage, the family was classified by the Spanish colonial system as mulata, mulatto. Felipe Betances dedicated himself to commerce and sugar production at Hacienda Carmen, eventually owning a plantation and slaves. This allowed him to achieve a prosperous economic position within the Spanish colonial order, although he never enjoyed full legal equality. Maria del Carmen took care of the household and managed the family properties, including a small funeral home in Cabo Rojo. The marriage produced several children, among them Ramon Emeterio, Maria, and Demetria Betances. Ramon Emeterio Betances was born on April 8, 1827 in Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, under Spanish colonial rule. His father managed one of the largest sugar processing operations in the municipality, placing the family in a comfortable economic position. Nevertheless, like many families of color in the 19th century, they lived a fundamental contradiction: economic well-being without legal equality because of the color of their skin. In the 1840s, while Ramon Emeterio Betances was studying in France, a family conflict arose that clearly revealed the limitations of the colonial racial system. His sister wanted to marry a white Spanish man, but because of her African ancestry, the marriage was not legally permitted. Faced with this situation, Felipe Betances, a wealthy man, paid for the racial reclassification of the entire family so they could be legally upgraded from mulattoes to blancos, white. This procedure, allowed by Spanish colonial law, was known as gracias al saca, or blanqueamiento de casta, caste whitening. The process took approximately 2 years and cost thousands of dollars. It was a tedious procedure during which constant petitions had to be sent to the king, signed by friends, neighbors, priests, and archbishops, all stating that the family was decent and behaved like a proper white Spanish family. The king finally approved the papers after 2 years of persistent requests, in 1840. As a result, the family obtained greater legal, social, and property rights. However, Ramon Emeterio Betances always rejected this denial of their roots. In a letter written in 1879 to his younger sister Demetria, he mocked the whitening process, stating that the family was prietusca, rather black, dark-skinned, and not blancusca, rather white, proudly reclaiming their African heritage and denouncing the racism of the Creole elite. A few months after receiving the caste whitening, an unknown man entered the Betances' home in Cabo Rojo and murdered Felipe Betances. Shortly afterward, his brother-in-law Jose Tio also died of cholera. Ramon inherited part of the family fortune, including the sugar plantation and other assets. However, he very quickly rejected that world. He liquidated the properties and used the money for abolitionist causes, such as buying the freedom of enslaved children during baptisms, paying approximately 25 pesos for each one. This act had profound legal and moral significance. The children of enslaved people inherited the condition of slavery. When they were baptized and adopted by Betances, they ceased to be slaves. Under his management, the family business was dissolved because he placed social justice and the independence of Puerto Rico above the accumulation of wealth. Betances received his primary education with private tutors in Cabo Rojo and Mayaguez. In 1837, at 10 years of age, his father sent him to France to continue his studies. He attended the Collège Royal de Toulouse, today Lycée Pierre de Fermat, where he obtained a baccalaureate in letters and sciences in 1846. After a brief stay in Puerto Rico, he returned to France in 1848 to study medicine at the University of Paris, specializing in surgery and ophthalmology. He took additional courses at the Faculty of Medicine in Montpellier in 1852 and graduated as a medical doctor in 1855. During his time in Paris, he witnessed the revolutions of 1848, an experience that awakened and solidified his commitment to freedom, equality, and anti-colonialism. He became engaged to his second cousin Carmen Henry, also known as Maria del Carmen Henry Betances, but she tragically died in Paris in 1853, shortly before the wedding. Betances never married again. He returned to Puerto Rico in 1856 and settled in Mayaguez as a surgeon and ophthalmologist. There he earned the nickname Doctor of the Poor because he treated the most needy sectors free of charge. During the cholera epidemic of 1856, he organized emergency hospitals and health campaigns that saved many lives. His abolitionist and pro-independence activism led him to found secret societies, help enslaved people escape, and suffer several periods of exile imposed by Spanish authorities. From exile in New York, Santo Domingo, and Paris, he organized the Comité Revolucionario de Puerto Rico and became the main ideological leader of the Grito de Lares, the first major pro-independence uprising on the island that took place on September 23, 1868, although it was quickly suppressed. Betances also promoted the idea of the Antillean Confederation, a political union between Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic, and he celebrated the abolition of slavery in Puerto Rico in 1873. He died in exile in Neuilly-sur-Seine, France, on September 16, 1898, shortly after the Spanish-American War, which transferred Puerto Rico to the United States. His remains were repatriated to Cabo Rojo in 1920. Today, Ramon Emeterio Betances is remembered as a visionary Afro-American and Afro-Boricua, a radical abolitionist, and a tireless defender of the self-determination of the peoples of the Caribbean.